Once you enter Great Bay, it needs to be nighttime. Equip your ocarina and play the Song of Double Time to make it night 1. We're now entering the Aliens segment of the run. The Aliens event begins at 2:30 a.m., and the aliens will reach the barn at exactly 3:49 a.m. We have a few things to get done before then, namely getting the Hookshot and the Song of Storms. We also need to get rid of the gold dust in our inventory, which we can do by selling it to the Curiosity Shop. The Curiosity Shop opens at 10 p.m., so we'll have to hold on to the gold dust until then. In the meantime, we're going to go get the Zora Mask and the Hookshot. Once it's nighttime, put on your Goron Mask and make your way towards the beach. Bonk the wall here, dodge the walls, and then Mikau is in the water over there. You can do a little side hop here, which is a little faster than just rolling, and then swim our way over to him. Now, pushing Mikau on the Japanese version is a little bit difficult. On the English version, you'd have to stay behind him and hold the A button to push. On the Japanese version, you just get behind him and swim against him, and that pushes him. Can be kind of hard to stay behind him. Just do the best you can, just kind of fiddle with it. Practice it a bunch. Kind of hard to really explain what to do. Just try to stay behind him as best as you can and just push him. And then once he gets close enough, he will get up and start walking. Fun fact, this cutscene is actually longer than the Muip cutscene in Ocarina of Time. Then once he collapses onto the shore, we walk up next to him and play Song of Healing. And we get to sit through another cutscene. Yay! Except it's shortened for me. Yay! Normally you'd see a little cutscene with Mikau and the rest of the Zora band, but we don't have to see that here. We just get the Zora Mask, and we can move on. Once you get the Zora Mask, equip it to your buttons, and then first put on the Goron Mask and make your way over here to the beach. Just like with Goron Mask earlier, how we were able to use the Deku Mask to skip the very first Goron transformation, we can do the same here with Zora. Go from Goron to Zora, and you can skip that very first transformation cutscene. Very, very convenient. A little bit about Zora Movement. Zora has the same walking, back walking, side hopping, and rolling that Human Link does. Zora also has Zora Swimming. Zora Swimming between Japanese and English is a little bit different. Here on Japanese, if you start from a standstill and then turn immediately, Zora takes a wider turn, versus on English you would take a much tighter turn. This can throw you off if you switch between versions, because the different categories in this game often switch versions for various reasons. So something you do need to get used to if you happen to run other categories, or if you just have English and then switch over to Japanese, for example. Definitely something you're going to have to practice and get used to. Now, while we're talking about English and Japanese differences, there's also one thing right here regarding this little platform here. On English, this is low enough for you to grab the platform and climb up. But on Japanese, it is not. On Japanese, what you have to do is something called a dolphin dive, which is what this is right here, where you hop out of the water as Zora. Dolphin diving is the only way you can get up onto this platform on Japanese. So if you play on Japanese, you will have to get used to doing this. You can hop up onto this platform, and then if you stand on the very edge of this and hit the owl statue with human, you'll fly backward into the water and land at the very bottom. This saves a little bit of time versus just smacking it and jumping off into the water. Now we want to make our way over to the Pirate's Fortress so we can grab our handy-dandy Hookshot, which will be very, very useful throughout the rest of this run. I should mention that dolphin diving is the fastest form of movement in the water as Zora. So if you're swimming as Zora, you want to be dolphin diving if at all possible. Go here to the corner, and then we smack into this guy, and this will open the way to Pirate's Fortress. Here in Pirate's Fortress, we want to immediately jump up here, and there's a little cutscene that shows us all the pirates that are going around outside on these boats. If we're fast enough, what we can do is roll around this corner and jump into the water and not get caught. If you're a little slow, what you might have to do is instead go down this little slope that's over here and just fall into the water. You could do that as well, but if you're fast enough, you can make it without needing to do that. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, dolphin diving is faster, but just be careful of the pirates, and also be careful of this bonefish here that will hit you if you're not careful. There's another one right there. And then make your way up here to this switch. And then we can side hop onto the switch and Goron Pound. Boom. This opens the way to the next area. Then put your Zora back on and hop into the water. Something I should mention regarding hopping into water. Let me go back for just a moment and not get caught by the pirates. So when you jump off into water, if you hold the A button, you will dive. But if you don't hold the A button, you'll just jump like this. So there's just jumping, and then I'll show diving once again in just a moment here. Nice. Get up there, man. Just go up there. Thank you. Alternatively, if we hold the A button, Zora Link will dive. This becomes very, very important later on for a couple other tricks I will show, particularly in the Great Bay Temple coming up, but I just wanted to make a note of that right now. Once you pound the switch, just make your way over here and make sure not to hit the bonefish here. Go in here. Here in this tunnel, there is a small optimization you can do here. So when you bonk into these things right here, normally you're kind of stuck there for just a second and you can't actually do anything. But if you let go of A just before bonking like this, you can immediately start swimming again. It's very, very small, very subtle optimization, but I wanted to point it out anyway. This first block, you want to pull it back once. You don't have to pull it back any more than once, because that will give you just enough room to walk through. Then you push this first one, and this will make a path through. Swim through here, go up, and then you can dolphin dive like this into the door. In this next room, we need to press the switch up here and hit it with Zora Fins. You can hit it from the stairs like this. Alternatively, you can go over here to these barrels and slash like this. That's a little easier. Of course, I miss the easy one. I like to go for here from the stairs. And then you can side hop over this railing here and go through here. Alternatively, you can just jump off, whichever way works. Just whatever way gets you through that gate before it closes. And then coming up here. So this ladder here, something I want to talk about regarding ladders. So Zora Link actually climbs ladders the slowest out of all of the forms, out of all the transformations, human, Deku, Goron, and Zora. So for this particular ladder, what I actually recommend doing is taking off Zora and becoming human. We're going to be using bow up ahead here for these switches here. So if you're going to be using bow here, it's actually better to take off human right there. It's a very small time save, but it is a time save nonetheless. It's a couple of frames. So frame savers is what this category is all about, really. Step on that switch, pull out your bow, and stand on the middle of this thing and shoot with the bow. This will take us upward, and then there's one more switch over here we want to shoot. And then jump down, try not to hit the little mines here, and then we put on our Goron Mask. Once we're out here, carefully make your way around this. Don't want to fall into the water, because that would be very, very bad. And come here into the interior. Once we're in here, you want to make your way over to this way, this ladder over here. You shoot that pirate down with an arrow and climb the ladder. This is a very, very long ladder, so it takes a little bit to climb up. and then shoot this one, and then you can just Goron roll past. Like so, and go in the door. Now in here, we wanted to shoot the beehive to skip this little cutscene. Normally there's a cutscene if you walk up too far where the pirates talk about the eggs and all that. We don't want to watch that cutscene. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 rolls. Stand about right here. You can kind of use this wall here as a visual cue if you'd like. And then you want to aim right below those 2 little dots in the very middle of that window. And that should get you the beehive. Like so. Like that. Okay, now there's another slight difference between English and Japanese. If you're on Japanese, what you can do is you can go back here. There is a hole in the wall, and you can just jump straight down to where the hookshot chest is. Versus if you're on English, what you'll have to do is go back through the door and drop down and go through the front. Either way, make your way over to the hookshot chest and grab ourselves a hookshot. Also, the chest here on English is actually turned the opposite way around because there's no hole there. But here on Japanese, it's actually facing toward the hole. Just a small little note. And here's our hookshot. Once you grab the hookshot, you're going to want to turn Zora and then equip your bottle and ocarina. You can do a backflip onto this chest and then do a roll jump and grab here. Alternatively, you can equip hookshot and hookshot that guy up there if you'd like. Then we drop down in the tank, grab our egg, and then get out. Now, something I want to mention regarding getting out of these tanks here. So normally what you have to do for Zora is you have to get up here and then wait for him to surface completely and then he'll grab. What you can actually do for these guys is when you come up, if you press the A button at just the right moment, you'll actually be able to climb up a little faster. It's kind of hard to get used to, but if you can get used to it, it is a very nice little time saver. Then once you grab the egg, we need to soar back to town because it's just about 10 o'clock now. So the curiosity shop will be open. But if it's not 10 o'clock, you want to make sure to play the inverted song of time to speed up time. Alternatively, if you were running out of time for Goron Race earlier and you have not done it yet, this is the time to do it. So what you would do is you would soar to Mountain Village here instead of Clocktown. Like so. And then you can just jump across here, equip the Goron Mask, and make your way up to where the Goron Race is. Now, of course, we did this earlier, but I'm just showing this off for demonstration purposes. Make your way up here. And then do your Goron Race here. Now, Goron Race at night is a little bit different. It's you have a little bit of lag here at night that you don't have during the day. There's a little bit of extra time loss you'd have from doing it at night, but you can do it here if you ran out of time earlier during day 1. And then, of course, once you get your gold dust, then you want to soar to town. Make sure you have your gold dust handy, and let's make our way to the curiosity shop. Again, the curiosity shop opens at 10 o'clock, so if it's not 10 o'clock by this point, you're going to want to play the inverted song of time to speed time back up to normal, and then wait, and then after that, you're going to want to slow it back down. Once you're in the curiosity shop, you're going to have to take off the Goron mask, because he will not buy the gold dust from you if you're Goron. Talk to him and offer him the gold dust, and then say yes to sell it. And then you want to say no here, because you don't have anything else to sell. Put our Goron Mask back on, and leave. Selling the gold dust here not only gets rid of the gold dust from our bottle, but it also gives us money, which we'll be using up here in just a second. You want to pop in the trading post here for just a moment to grab a fish. That's going to be important for the well later. And then finally, we want to go to the bomb shop and grab another powder keg from this guy. He'll only sell you a powder keg as Goron, so you want to stay as Goron. Buy that for 50 rupees. And then talk to the bomb shop guy, and we want to buy some bomb shoes for 40 rupees. And then with our shopping done, we want to leave the town. And now we need to head for the graveyard to get the Song of Storms. Song of Storms can only be gotten on night 1 or night 2. And since we're waiting on the aliens event anyway, this is a convenient spot to get it. You want to make sure to roll through these bushes here to get some drops, like bombs and magic and all that. And then enter Ikana. Here in Ikana, we want to play Epona's song and call our horse, because we'll be needing Epona to go across these fences that are over here. Get on the horse and make our way over these fences and back here to where the graveyard is. Now you can shoot these guys from the horse with your bow. I do recommend doing that because they can be a pain, though it can be difficult to aim as well. Climb up here. Same thing about ledges that I mentioned earlier with powder keg. You can press the A button to climb faster, or you can do a side hop and climb up that way. See, there's why these guys can be annoying, is because they do that, and if they hit you, you're actually going to be jinxed, and you're not going to be able to use your sword for a little while. So I definitely recommend taking these guys out and being fast so that they don't bother you like they just did me, because I was going slow. Here in the graveyard, we want to make our way up to the Captain Kita fight, but on the way, if you don't have a stick, what you're going to want to do is pull out your bombs, and in this little circle of rocks, there's actually a hidden grotto that will open up if you drop a bomb there. And inside this grotto, there are 2 Deku Babas that will each give you a Deku stick if you kill them. We're going to need a Deku stick coming up in the Song of Storms grotto. It's also convenient to have a stick for the Captain Kita fight if you're on the Japanese version. We're going to be using the same power crouch stab technique that we used earlier in the Danalthus fight for Captain Kita. I will also show the non-PCS strat as well if you're playing on English. On both versions, what you want to do is go over here into this corner, run against Captain Kita, then drop a bomb and quickly shield, and then play the song Sonata of Awakening. If you drop the bomb and pull out Ocarina fast enough, this bomb will actually explode during this cutscene here, and it will stop him from going too far in the cutscene. And then once the cutscene's over, you'll want to equip your sticks and bow, shoot him with bow, and then do a Deku Stick Jump Slash. And then you can use that Deku Stick Jump Slash damage and fight him with it. This is the fastest way to do this fight, as Deku Stick Jump Slash does the most damage, and you can do it very quickly with a crouch stab. There's that. And then let me show the other fight. If you are playing on English, you can instead use Goron Pounds, and that's going to be the fastest way to fight him on English without the power crouch stab technique. Once this cutscene's over, I will show that. Okay, so no PCS if you're playing on English, for example. Again, run against Captain Kita, shield off a bomb, pull Ocarina, Sonata of Awakening. And the bomb should hit him during the cutscene. Now, I do recommend equipping Hookshot along with your bow here. You don't need Hookshot to reach the Captain's Hat chest up ahead, but it does make it a lot easier to do so. So shoot him with an arrow, and then as Goron, come up and do Goron pounds, like so. Without PCS, this is the fastest way to fight Captain Kita. Oh, just be careful and time your pounds correctly so that he doesn't hit you out of them. Then after that long cutscene, there's two ways you can get over to this chest here. Number one, you can do a jump and jump slash and make it. But if you're not comfortable with that, or you keep missing the jump, you can instead pull out your hookshot and hookshot over, like this. And here is your Captain's Hat. After getting the Captain's Hat, you want to equip a stick and your newly gotten Captain's Hat, and then roll back down towards these graves. And then put on your Captain's Hat and talk to one of these stall children here. There's a couple text boxes, and then they're going to give you an option. It says the top one is guard the grave, and the next one is open the grave. We want to open the grave, so press the bottom option, and they will open it for you. And then we can hop in. Here in the grave, hop yourself across here, pull out your Deku stick, and then light the torches in this room. You technically can use fire arrows instead, but aiming fire arrows in this room with these keys bothering you is a nightmare. I do not recommend it. So definitely make sure you have a stick at this point, and just use the stick to light the torches instead. Now, in this room, you have the Iron Knuckle mini-boss fight. This guy is pretty nerve-wracking because he can one-shot you. He does 4 hearts of damage in a single strike, and you only have 4 hearts of damage, so you have to be very careful with this guy. Let me show you a couple different ways you can fight this guy. First way is put on your Goron mask and walk up to him. Do a pound to wake him up, and then immediately do another pound, punch, and then pound, punch, and pound, punch, and then after this cutscene, mash the start button during this cutscene to pause, pull out your shoes, run away from him, and take off Goron Mask, and you can use 5 chews on him to kill him. It's very safe, very free, but it is a little bit on the slow side. Now, for something a little bit faster but more riskier, again, Goron, pound, pound, punch, pound, punch, pound, punch. Then at the beginning of this second phase, what you can do is you can mash the punch button and get a free punch. And then there's 2 more punches that you've got to do. And you just need to time these punches between his attacks so that you hit him before he hits you. Like this. And boom. Now the third way only works in the Japanese version. The third way makes use of the powered crouch staff, store a Cohere sword jump slash. Deku stick does not work on this guy, so it has to be a sword jump slash. And stand right about here and crouch with your shield. Stand right here, he will not be able to hit you. And you can wake him up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slashes. And then put on Goron Mask and punch. Same thing here, just mash the punch button, and then time these next 2 punches. And boom, there you go. And there's 3 different ways you can use to fight that guy. Pick whichever way you'd like. And then we have a cutscene and learn our Song of Storms. And then we can just roll ourselves out of here. Once we leave the grave, just head out of the graveyard. And then we want to make our way over this way. Nice bonk. And then this guy up here, when you get too close to him, he's going to talk to you like so. Now, we don't want to just talk to him like this, because this is just a waste of time. What you want to do is you want to equip your Hookshot and your Gibdo Mask, and then put on your Gibdo Mask before you get in range of him. That way, when he talks to you, he'll actually spawn this tree. And then once he spawns the tree, pull out your Hookshot. Hookshot up there, and then we can Goron roll the rest of the way. Now, I do recommend avoiding these bubbles here, because you do not want to be jinxed up ahead. Your sword is very, very useful for this upcoming trick called Ice Arrow Skip. Some people call it Ikana Early, whichever you prefer is fine. We're going to be able to Hookshot up here to Ikana. Normally what you're supposed to do is have the Ice Arrow at this point, and you freeze these Octoroks in order to jump across. But from the right position and angle, you can actually just Hookshot up to that tree right there around the corner. So let me show you the way that I prepare for this one personally. So coming in from the road to Ikana here. So we head this way, and then you want to pay attention to the tree that's in the background there. You want to have a little sliver of it that's peeking around the wall like it is right now, just a little bitty sliver of it. And then there's these two black spots here on the ground. It's kind of hard to see if you're just starting out. It may not show up very well on my footage, but I'll try to kind of put a little bit of an indicator on there as well. But so you want to stand between these two spots right here, and then have that little bitty bit of the tree kind of poking out from the side, and then slash to the edge and Hookshot on the very bottom. And that should work as long as I am being not bad at aiming. Thank you. Now these Octoroks can be kind of annoying, so if you're first starting out, you might want to just pull out your bow and shoot them, like so. And just get them out of your hair. But once you get good enough at it and fast enough, you can just learn how to avoid them. What I typically like to do is when I approach, I will stand here and wait for just a second and let them shoot, and then once they shoot, then go up and Hookshot like so. You can use your own, come up with your own visual cue if you'd like, but that's the one that works for me, is getting that little sliver of the tree there and then standing in that between those two little spots on the ground. Once you get up here, Hookshot up, and then smack Ikana out here. Now recall that right now we are waiting on aliens. The aliens win at 3:49. If at any point during this entire section it becomes like 3:15-ish, then you want to stop what you're doing and soar to Milk Road and to do the aliens minigame. Now it's a little bit more lenient if you're inverted. Ideally what you'd do is you'd find some point to uninvert. That way you can soar to the ranch and not lose time, because while you're inverted, you're losing time to aliens, because the aliens work on in-game time. So you want to make sure to be uninverted whenever possible. The idea is to manage your in-game time properly so that you can uninvert after entering Great Bay at some point, and then you would never have to reinvert again. And then just complete the aliens minigame without needing to invert or uninvert or anything like that. That's the idea here. Now, of course, when you're first starting out, you're probably going to have difficulty with that. That's fine. That's natural. It's just something you kind of have to get with practicing. Practice a lot and just learn kind of the way what in-game time management works for you. Now, if at this point it's 3:15, then you want to smack the owl and soar to Milk Road. If it's not 3:15, however, if it's more like 2 o'clock, or if it's like really early like it is right now for me, it's like 1:45, then what you want to do instead, grab some drops from these bushes here and make your way up to the cave back here. We can do a few things here in Ikana while we're waiting on aliens. If you're a little early, that way you don't have to go to Milk Road immediately and just wait on aliens, because there is a lot that we have to just wait on there. So at this point, if it's like this early, like 2 o'clock-ish, just head back here, to the cave. And then this guy's going to appear. And we want to pull out our ocarina. Now, if it is 250 or earlier, then what you want to do is pull out your ocarina and pull out your bomb shoes. If it's later than that, say about, if it's like 315, like right now, then you want to pull out your ocarina and your bow. The reason you want to pull out your bomb shoes here is because when you go into the Gibdo Mask up ahead, there's going to be, the little girl Pamela is going to be outside her house, just like looking at the water, the new water that's about to spawn here, and it's causing the music box to start. When you walk up to her, she's going to get scared and run back in the house and lock the door. But if you use a bomb, that will draw her out of the house, and then you can go in behind her and get the Gibdo Mask. The idea is you can pull a bomb shoe as you walk into her range where she sees you, and the bomb shoe will explode with the right timing, and she'll like immediately come back out. Now, of course, if you don't have a bomb shoe, you can use a regular bomb as well. But if you do have bomb shoes at this point, that is the most optimal thing to do. But again, you keep a close eye on your in-game time here. If it's 3:15-ish or a little bit later, you want to make sure to go straight to Milk Road and not worry about this later. You can take care of this after Aliens, and it's no time lost, really. When you get about right here, take off your Goron Mask, pull out your bomb shoe. That might have been a little bit early. But during this cutscene, the bomb shoe's timer ticks down and then blows up. And oh, that was perfect. Now, if that doesn't work, then you can either do a damage boost backwards like this, or just pull a bomb and let the bomb explode either way. Just any kind of explosion will draw her out of the house. And then walk up. Make sure she's a little bit further away, because if you go too fast, she's going to see you, and then she's going to run back in the house, lock the door again, and you're going to have to draw her out once more. So just give her a few seconds to walk away from the house, and then come into the house right here and walk up to this guy. Pull out your ocarina and play the song Feeling. And this will net us the Gibdo Mask. Now, at this point, you do need to do Sword and Milk Road. If you haven't Sword and Milk Road to do Aliens now, this is when you need to do it. You have nothing else you can do in the meantime for Aliens. Because we do need to have the milk from the Aliens before we can progress any further. Once you Sword and Milk Road, equip your bow. You can grab a arrow drop from right there. And then again, you want to make sure that at this point, you want to manage your in-game time properly so that you get into the ranch no sooner than 2:30. If you go in there before 2:30, you're going to have a cutscene where the aliens spawn into the ranch. But if you wait until after that, you won't have that cutscene. Ideally, you want to enter the ranch about 3:15-ish. That way the aliens are already there and they're approaching the ranch. You can actually enter the ranch at about 3:20-ish and still make it, but I do recommend not to cut it quite that close until you're more familiar with how the game works and you've got a lot more experience. Because shooting the aliens at 3:20 is no easy feat. Here at the aliens minigame, all we need to do is that we need to shoot these guys twice. Again, they win at 3:49, so you want to make sure to get in here before then. It's very, I know I keep saying that, but it's very, very important. And then you want to just shoot each of these guys when you come in. Shoot, 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 shoot. Now you only need to shoot them twice. The reason for that is because they take a certain amount of in-game time to reach the barn. And you have to shoot them once so that they don't reach the barn at 3:49. And then all you have to do is shoot them once more after 4 o'clock. and then they can no longer make it to the barn. Now, when you're cutting it really close, and they're getting really close to the barn, you may not have enough time to walk around here and shoot this guy in the very back. What you can do instead is something called barn shot. This barn here actually does not have any kind of projectile collision at all. You can shoot arrows straight through it. So ideally what you do is you get here at a point where you can just shoot through the barn and shoot the guy in the back, and then shoot the rest of these guys like so. And boom. Again, you shoot them all at once after 4 o'clock, and you win. You don't have to do anything else. And that gives us plenty of time to mess around. Just roll around into the bushes. Like so. And then we can take one of these bushes over here. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da. And then throw it. A little late there, darn. Okay. Now this bottle right here is the reason why we did this aliens minigame. So getting this is actually twofold. So number one, we need this milk in the well coming up ahead. And number two, it gives us a third bottle for the egg collection quest. This is the third of the 3 bottles that we'll be getting in this run. And once the aliens minigame is done, you're going to want to soar to Woodfall, because we need to go get the magic beans for the well coming up ahead. And since we played Song of Time earlier, we were not able to get it in the first trip to Deku Palace. So now we have to go do that now. And we have to go back to Woodfall 2 anyway to complete the Woodfall Temple, so it's convenient to do that now.